Hey y'all, whether it's morning, evening, or afternoon, I'm just glad that you guys had decided to vibe with E. Yes, the one and only E. Hey y'all, I hope y'all are feeling amazing, doing amazing, or just being amazing overall. And if not, it's okay. It's all right, my friend. Bad times don't last forever. After every storm, there is a rainbow, and you're getting closer and closer every day to your rainbow. Okay? Hey y'all, like I say all the time, I hope y'all feeling amazing and doing amazing. If not, it's okay, it's all right. We have our moments and we're human to feel the way that we feel. Sometimes we have our days where things are going good. Sometimes we just be like, I'm gonna just rock this out. Or the day is like you wake up, you be like, okay, I already know what type of day this is gonna be, and etc. But nevertheless, y'all, cheers to the last Wednesday of the month. Like, we made it through February, the month full of love and Black history. This has been, for me so far, I'd say a smooth, cool month. Also within the series, the new bonus series, Vibing Out with Guests, came out this month. So that also was very, very, very good for me. Like, it started off on Valentine's Day, and so far for February, I had two guests because I said also, as I mentioned, that within the month of, well, not in the month of February, but every month it'll be at least one or three guest appearances, but I might add one to four. I'm not sure, y'all. I have to see how my schedule gets, but so far I'm gonna keep it to one to three because it gets busy and I get pretty busy. So I'm gonna keep it at the one to three so far. Y'all had to take my headphones off because it's not really hurting my ears, but I like sometimes when I record, I don't like hearing my echo in my ears. So sometimes if I have it on, I'm like, okay, cool, I'm gonna just put it on. But today it's like I don't want to hear it. And plus, if you're watching the video on YouTube, y'all see that I'm in my natural state. I've my natural hair in a nice little bun, a little bun. I don't have no lashes on, but I got lip oil on from Fenty Beauty, y'all. Like, so I'm having one of those days. Like, look, it's a wellness day and I'm here for it, but also too I want to feel real comfortable. And also I want to embrace wearing my natural hair more because don't get me wrong, I love the cornrows and stuff, but sometimes you gotta show you a little natural. But other than that, y'all, yes. So far February have been. I'm gonna start doing little reflections on how I felt about the month, and then y'all guys can shoot me a DM and then comment on whatever platform that you're listening to about how February has been to you. Also, because I want to get y'all opinion as well as the rest of the months to come once we do the wellness one-on-one lessons and do a recap on how the month has been for us. So far I'll say February has. Well, the beginning of February, of course, it was like I don't want to say a disaster, but it was a bummer because I caught the flu. But after I was able to get rid of the flu and stuff, it started to get better. The podcast with school, internship, working. So things have been getting better. It's a starting process because we're still in the beginning of the new year and then we're in our way to March. So I feel like I say once we're in the middle of the year is once when June comes because it's 12 months in a year and that's when June come when it's almost towards summertime. That's like okay, the beginning of the month, January through June, then you got July through December towards, the end of the year or whatever. But also, y'all, cheers to 1 year of having wellness lessons one-on-one because today's wellness lesson is number 12. And y'all, I have been doing this for a year now. And I'm so glad that I'm keeping this going because the wellness lessons I see have been helping me, but I also see that has a lot of downloads. Also, that most people like too is the wellness lessons one-on-one to recover, and unpacked on whatever lesson that I had for the month, and then also how it reflects on their lives and what they learned new and stuff like that. So, as always, I appreciate you guys so much for just watching, listening, whatever you're doing. If you're new here, welcome, welcome, welcome. And for the ones that are not new to this but true to this, I appreciate you too. The OGs, newbies, soon to be OGs. Y'all know how this goes. I appreciate y'all so much from the likes, the comments, the views, the sharing, downloads, listening. I really, really appreciate it a lot because I see the numbers and I'm just so shocked that within 180 days, 57 cities has been listening. And it's like over, I want to say it was 2,000 listening within those 57 cities. Y'all, so when I seen it, I was like, oh my gosh. Y'all look like a little tears right fall in my eye. And I ain't gonna lie. When I seen it and I showed my mom, I was like, oh my gosh, people are really listening and people are really watching. And I like how y'all are engaged with the Wellness 101s, the regular vibes I have on Wednesdays. And y'all loving the vibe, and I would guess, especially on social media. If you do not follow the podcast page, please follow it on Instagram. I have it subscribed, well, not subscribed, linked onto every platform so you can see, it's the Instagram name, but it's not the Instagram name. It's a podcast name, but it's dot with E. So it's vibing dot with E. Okay? I believe. Hold on. Because I think I changed, I was in the process of thinking of changing it, but somebody has it all together. So I was like, you know what, I'm just leave it there. Yep, so it is, like I said, it's vibing dot with E. Okay? So let's get into today's Wellness 101 lessons. But like I said too, I do want you guys to give me some insights because I listen to you. It shows that you guys are listening to me. So why not I listen to y'all? As y'all new favorite podcaster and wellness and educational coach, I'm here for everything. Give me whatever information you want to give me. I don't care how little or small it is. Give me something that I need to know, okay? So, without further ado, my friends, I want you guys to sit back, relax, and enjoy hearing my voice because, as always, every vibe and wellness lesson 101 is always something special. Okay? So, let's get into it. So, turn me up on your speakers, your MacBooks, iPhones, Androids, iPads, tab. Turn me up because, as always, every vibe of the day is something special as well as the wellness lessons 101. Okay? Okay. So today, as we end off February, impacting Black History Month as well as self-love because of Valentine's Day, today, Wellness 101 is impacted with self-love and also Black history on a deeper level. But also impacting, like I said, on a deeper level. Y'all look like alfalfa a little bit. In the video, like I said, I am in my natural state. Like my bun, I got a little bun with my hair. And there's a little piece of hair that keeps sticking up. And it looked like if I mess with it some more, the bun is going to mess up. But it's okay. Because I got the camera in portrait. So y'all can see it, you might not. I don't even care. Because y'all know the vibes is raw and uncut. And if you're new here, my vibes are raw and uncut. So you're going to hear, if you hear some static sometimes, it's happening. I'm sorry. I'm still learning the process of editing audio. I got a new soundboard. I got a new cord. But it is what it is. We're still learning over here. And I'm a one-man army right now. So I'm learning as I go. And shout out to all my photographers and podcasters and everything. Content creators. Because I watch their videos. And they help me give me little tips on how to do this out the way. How to edit this. How to do that. So yeah. But let's get back on track. So like I said, today make a year since I've been doing Wellness 101 lessons. And the reason why I started doing Wellness 101 lessons because last year in January, when I was not able to record because I was sick, it made me think of my wellness, my health, and things like that. And also by me going to Morgan State University, they give us days called wellness days where we focus on our wellness, where we do nothing impacting academics. We just focus on whatever we want to do for our wellness. If that is, spending time with our friends, spending time with ourselves, sleeping in, working, whatever you want to do, that's that day you dedicate to yourself, but doing something that impacts with your well-being, mental, physically, spiritually, emotionally, whatever. And most of the time when we have wellness days, y'all, I'm either home or working. So it's just like, when it's like, hey, it is what it is. But I still make time for my wellness. So wellness day lessons 101 came to when I was sick. And then also going to a university that has those days in honor of appreciating their students, giving them the time to, regroup and stuff like that. We had a wellness day. It was on President's Day. And of course, that was on a Monday. And of course, I was home doing work and preparing for what else I was doing. My study that I'm a part of too at Morgan State. So I'm like, if y'all was having it on a Wednesday or something, cool. But I get why they only have it on Wednesdays, Mondays and Fridays because, the beginning of the week and end of the week. So it's like one of the other could be better. If they have them every Friday, that'd be better. And maybe have another one on a Monday. I don't know, but either way, y'all, that also impacted me a lot. So shout out to Morgan State for impacting me to create Wellness 101 and also for me, for myself, for understanding that When your body is telling you need to take a break and you just keep doing stuff until you end up somewhere, or you have that nerve feeling that you don't want to feel, and they have you like, look, I told you, I'll give you the signs, the signals that, look, it ain't looking good, and you just keep doing what you want to do. It's like, okay, now you're going to listen to me. So that's what happened, and that's what encouraged me to do that. And also, too, I'm real big on wellness. So that's why if you follow the podcast page and then you see in here, it says wellness and educational and wellness coach, because I feel like I'm coaching myself, but I'm also coaching and educating others on educational topics as well as wellness topics, and helping them with their wellness, because it works. We need it, and we take it seriously. I feel like also too, in research states that since the pandemic has happened, COVID-19 had took a big turn onto wellness, and also for humans being able to educate themselves on things. So yeah, that was very important. But also too, like I said, when I had my moments of being very sick and I couldn't be able to record, it hurt my feelings so bad, but things happen. So without further ado, let me introduce today's wellness one-on-one lesson. So today's wellness one-on-one lesson 12, it is self-love and empowerment in the Black community. Like I said, February is in honor of Valentine's Day and Black history. So love and Black history. I like Black history. I liked it ever since I was a child. Valentine's Day, I like it, but it really is not as big as how it is when it comes to me liking Black history, because I just love education. But as I got older, I learned to appreciate, to love myself, regardless if I do or do not have a Valentine. You still gotta love and appreciate on yourself. And that's what I like to bring to y'all to the table, love on yourself, and also giving y'all educational topics that impact with Black history. Because, yeah, and like I say too, I'm not biased. I'm not a biased person. I am a strong believer on loving on everyone. But like I said, it is February and it's honor to Black history. So why not? And a lot of people, might not know a few things. Like a few things that I've been talking about based on Black history, I didn't even know a little bit about. So yeah, it's just a learning experience, because I say all the time on the podcast, I hope that you guys learned something or it impact you in a way. So yeah, that's a little rundown. But let's get into it. So the definition that I have is within self-love and then also empowerment. So self-love is a type of self-care based on accepting and loving yourself unconditionally. And empowerment is the process of gaining control over your life and making positive changes. So this impacts with wellness because it impacts with self-love, loving on yourself in a way that impacts with your self-care, no matter how big or small you impact on doing something, impacting self-love for your self-care, but you just honor and appreciate yourself, loving on you for who you are and things like that. And then empowerment is just the process of gaining control of something that you want in your life and taking ownership of, but making it as a positive change. Okay, and if you're new here, I break every vibe of the day as well as wellness day down into the definition, the 5 W's, and I always end off with a quote, and I always add my insight and a little bit of more research and things like that. So yeah, I'm excited for this wellness lesson because it make a year since I've been doing the wellness lesson, of course, wellness one-on-one lessons, and this one I like because, like I said, it incorporate with love and Black history. Like I started off the month with Black history, then we did the Valentine's Day, then we did Black history again, but with family, and then this time we're intertwining both. We're doing both, collaborating with both because it ended off February. And I'm so excited for March, y'all. Like February and March are very, very historical months for me that I love with a passion because it's so full of knowledge, so full of rich knowledge that I gain within the history and things like that. So I'm really excited for that one also. But yeah, another little thing I wanted to throw out there. So first we're going to start with who. Who are the key voices and advocates promoting self-love and empowerment in the Black community? So with this being said, is like, who are people in the community, the Black community, or even in whatever community that, you live, you serve, you die for, whatever, who empowers people within doing empowerment as well as loving on themselves and things like that. So example of key voices and advocates include social media influencers, celebrities, and activists that impacting Black communities as well as other communities. So that's a good thing too, because social media does play a big role, and celebrities also give a lot of insight, as well as social media influencers, content creators, people that are doing podcasting, broadcasting, what's another one, the Twitch and stuff, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, everybody who's on there doing videos, impacting with self-love and empowerment within whatever community it is. They're very, very important when it comes to advocating for self-love in the Black community and other communities around. They have spoken out about the importance of self-love and empowerment in the Black community, and have encouraged people to embrace their uniqueness and to celebrate their culture and history. They have also created platforms such as podcasting and books to help people learn about these topics. Additionally, they have created campaigns to spread the message of self-love and empowerment in the Black community. By doing this, they are helping to bridge the gap between the Black community and the rest of the world, and are helping to foster a sense of understanding and acceptance. They have also provided research to support Black-owned business, and entrepreneurs, helping to create economic opportunities and create jobs. They're helping to create a more equality and a more prosperity society for everyone. This is in turn helped to reduce economic inequalities and creates a more equitable society. It also helps to foster a more and more steady and stability environment, which can lead to a greater understanding and acceptance. So when it comes to the who are the key voices and advocates for promoting self-love and empowerment, you have your influencers, your celebrities, your advocates, you have people that are in businesses that have businesses, and you have, I want to say, people in the community, like the people that are very big on, I want to say, community leaders and things like that. So having people that are really, really on social media is a really big platform, because social media spreads out on a lot of topics, especially when it comes to self-love and empowerment. Like I mentioned, not only within the Black community, but every other community too. It's a lot of people that are celebrities, influencers, activists, business owners, entrepreneurs, etc., that are very big on those two, because it's needed. Being able to have that type of strength and energy to be able to empower yourself into whatever you want to do in life, whatever positive change and cause that you have for yourself, is something that is needed. And that's very important when you have your community by your side, and also people that are from your city or whatever that you love, or they may not even be from your city or whatever. Social media is like, at times it comes with pros and cons, but I love to point out the pros. I don't like to point out the cons no more. Like previous episodes, especially on wellness lessons too, I believe I did a couple that pointed out pros, and I did add in little cons, but I just didn't like talking about it because, I'm all about positive. But sometimes things don't go that way. But however, in this case, when it talks about self-love and empowerment, being able to have a community that's able to serve you a purpose within whatever you want to do that motivates you is very key, because having that type of support, the reasons God is to help you with your blueprint and things like that, is one of the best things that anybody could ever ask for, because it's hard at times for you to have empowerment. It's hard for you to build that empire that you want for yourself, as well as when it comes to self-love. When they are TikTok, how can I forget TikTok? TikTok has a lot of influencers that I see that impacts with self-love. No matter how big or small it is, physically, mentally, spiritually, emotionally, wellness, whatever it is. There's a lot of people on TikTok that I see, a lot of women that advertise within the self-care, and a lot of men that do empowerment, and I see some men and women that do both. So it's a very, very, very broad community when it comes to having people who are creators and celebrities and advocates, entrepreneurs, business owners that are real big on advertising self-love and empowerment in their business, because you never know who looks up to you, and you never know who needs that. So shout out to all the celebrities, influencers, advocates, business owners, entrepreneurs, podcasters, TikTokers, done balls with influencers, creators, things like that, that take the time out their day to just spread positivity, because like I say all the time, you never know who is listening and you never know who you may help. And I say that all the time. Hopefully I can help. If I'm not able to help a whole bunch of people, long as I'm able to help someone, that goes to show that someone understands me, and it also shows that I'm helping them in a way that I might can't help them, in person, but I can help them by them just listening to me. Even if it is in person too. As long as I'm helping someone, that just makes everything feel so much better to me. Being able to be that light for someone, that light that someone has been missing, been hoping, manifesting, praying for, whatever the case may be. Me just being able to spread my knowledge and spread good words, good vibes to a person can really help them. So, like I say all the time, to be nice to others and be kind, display good vibes. I'm being truthful, because you never know who need it, especially when it comes to just being a big person that likes to talk about, empowering someone or doing things to empower them, as well as display their help them with self-love and give them tips and stuff like that. So yes, shout out to all of y'all. That was a mouthful, but it's worth it. And it's important. It's wellness 101s. Wellness 101 lessons are the lessons that we learn, the lessons I'm learning with y'all. Because these are topics that I have. I write them down. I get my little facts. I add my little 1, 2, 3s in it. And then it's like, I just let it flow. What else I want to talk about, it just flows. Okay? So what are the unique challenges faced by the Black community in embracing self-love and empowerment? Now, like I said too, yes, we are talking about the Black community and self-love because of February being love and Black history. However, not only just one community deals with these hiccups, every community deals with some type of hiccups. Yes, this is a positive cause, but we all go through challenges, especially when it comes to just being able to get your message out there. Because at times, like I said, it's hard to even get people to listen to you. It's hard to have people understand where you're coming from, and it takes them like probably 3 or 4 times to get it, but long as they get it. But it's challenges that comes in the way of everything, and sometimes that's how the cookie crumbles. We all go through things. It's okay. It's all right. We're human, so we all go through challenges, but this is the type of challenge that we will be okay. So embracing self-love. Oh wait, hold on, guys. So I'm gonna reread the question again, because I just read that part. So what are the unique challenges faced by the Black community in embracing self-love and empowerment? Like I mentioned, every community goes through this, not just one, but in honor of this, we just focus on this real quick. But it's also incorporating everyone. So one of the biggest challenges is that the Black community is often not giving resources needed. Excuse me, y'all. Often not given resources needed to foster self-love and empowerment. And the reason why, when I looked that up, I kind of was like, and I'm like, okay, I get it, because sometimes we don't have the access. Sometimes we might not have access to it, or might be afraid to get it. So sometimes it's like a slippery slope, even within every community. Sometimes it's not in everybody's community. Like where I'm from Baltimore City. So for me, I say we have it because the influencers and things like that. And yeah, most of the time, it's just not able to be reached, which is okay. But now that's where people in the community try to fix it. Okay? So, additionally, there's a lack of representation of Black individuals in a position of power. That's a big thing too, because, well, like I said, within the community, like have your mayor, stuff like that. If you don't see someone that looks just like you, sometimes it's like, do I feel empowered? Do I feel the self-love? Sometimes it's not always that way. But I noticed too, as a social worker in the making, that a lot of people prefer to be around people that look just like them and have been through certain situations like them. And trust me, I get it. I totally get it. We all been there. We done that. So on, so on. Y'all, if you're watching the YouTube, I do got my iPad because I'm trying to I am trying to get I'm trying to see if I can put the notes on here, cuz I'm on my phone, but I'm tired of looking at my little tiny phone. And yes, I know y'all probably like, it's time to get a new phone. I'm in the process. Yes, I am. I am. Sorry, y'all. We're in the process of it. Okay, there we go. We're on here. We better now, so I feel more comfortable. I feel better if I have my glasses, but you know, it's okay. It's all right. We're going to get this over with. So, like I said, too, like, as someone that's in the process of getting their degree as a BSW student, I noticed too that when I have discussions in the classroom with my fellow classmates, they be like, I feel comfortable talking with somebody look like me and things like that, or have some culture backgrounds because they understand me. For me, it's like, it is what it is. It's like, I feel like for certain stuff dealing with mental health, yes, like with doctors that deal with physical, is like, I don't care what background you from, but certain stuff like within this case, self-love and empowerment, allegedly some people feel comfortable within people that's in their community. Like black community feel comfortable with black community, Latinos, Hispanic, Caucasian, whatever. If not, it's okay. But most of the time within the black community, within this topic, we feel comfortable with, most of us feel comfortable with people that are like us and things like that. And it's okay. So another challenge also that the black community deals with, individuals often deal with, are subjects to negative stereotypes, which can be difficult to the outcome. So I think I talked about stereotypes, but I think I talked about it within bullying. That was a year ago, months ago. Stereotypes plays a very, 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 very heavy game in every community, not just the black community, Caucasian, Hispanic, Latinos. Every community deals with stereotypes. Point blank period. They deal with stereotypes. And it's one of those things where when stereotypes play a big role into stuff, it makes you feel like, does this impact who I am? Is this who I am? And certain stuff that you would hear, you'd be like, that's not me. That don't impact me. That has nothing to do with me. Well, guys, sometimes that happens, y'all. I gotta cut this real quick. And this is off topic because, like I said, I need to get a new phone. If you are an iPhone user out there, I don't know if you have a phone that's underneath the 15, so a 13, let's say underneath the 14. Have y'all been having problems with y'all devices that at times, if you put your phone on, do not disturb, however you got it styled, it's not gonna okay, this how I'm break this down. My phone is connected to the iPad and my MacBook. If I put one device on do not disturb, every device should be on do not disturb. If y'all heard the little iPhone notification go off, it was my iPad, and I'm gonna tell y'all why it went off. Because the daggone stuff is not connected no more. So that's another reason why I gotta get a new phone, because every time something, if it's not the MacBook, it's not the MacBook most of the time, it's between the phone and the iPad. It's one or the other. And I gotta keep turning it off and turning it back on for it to get back in line. I'm sick of it. I had enough. I'm mad enough. But back on to what we were talking about. So when it comes to the stereotypes plays a big role within every community. Not just one, every community, I don't care what it is, what you identify as, everything like that. Stereotypes play a role that it's like a scenario. It's like, I think of stereotypes as judgment. And the reason why I think of stereotypes as judgment, because you're judging someone and you don't even know who they are. When I was a part of a group in my community, I forgot the slogan that it has, but it was like, oh yeah, it was like, if you judge me for who I am, you would never get the benefit of, what was it? You would never get the benefit of learning who I am. If you judge me by the way I look, and what community I'm from, you will never get to really understand a person for who they are. And I feel that way because why are you judging a person if you don't know who they are? Just because, okay, they say, oh yeah, I'm from such and such. I'm not going to judge you. But sometimes, you know what happens? Like when I tell people I'm from Baltimore, they be like, "Oh, you from the place where people consider it body more because y'all be." I'm like, "Oh, stop." Mm-mm. And not everybody is, incorporated with those things. I'd be like, let me stop you right there. Not everybody is incorporated with those things. But I get it. I get it. But ma'am, sir, we're all not incorporated with those with that. That's a stereotype because they'd be like, "Oh, you're from Baltimore, so you're a part of your environment." There you go. That's what I was looking for. You're a product of your environment. That's not the case. So I look at stereotypes as things where people will judge you in a situation, and it's like, wrongo. If y'all ever seen The Grinch, y'all, my siblings and I love that part. Like when he rapped Cindy Lou, before he rapped Cindy Lou up. And he was like, wrongo. But for real, I be like, that's a real bad stereotype that people have, that people say about people in different communities based off of what they see. And I'm big on the saying, don't judge a book by its cover. If you don't take the time to sit down, open that book and read a few pages. If you don't like that book, put that book right where you got it from neatly. If you like it, keep reading and continuing. And that's how I feel about a person. Don't judge somebody from how they look if you do not sit down and have a conversation with them and understand who they are as a person, because you're just judging them on what you see, and then the stereotypes are like who they from, where they from, and who they are. And that plays a big part within the community, as well as that can affect a person and empowerment as well as self-love, because you're judging someone over something that is a part of their community, but that doesn't impact them as a person. Because a lot of people fail to realize that negative things can put a barrier on to people. That can put a very, very big barrier onto people. It can hurt people in ways that you don't even know how it hurted someone. So stereotypes plays a big role in every community. I do not care if you're rich, famous, middle class, whatever the case may be. Stereotypes plays a big role, and it can impact a person's whole physical, mental wellness, spiritual, emotional. It can impact that. So we have to be very careful on, that's another thing to impact the wellness. We have to be careful on the things we say and do. We all learn every day, what to say, what not to say, and things like that. But stereotypes is one of the many, many things that drive me insane, especially dealing with children. The things that they say, I be like, look, do you know what that is? Like, I remember when I was younger, my parents used to make us look up words. If we saying words or don't know the meaning of, look it up. And then when you look it up, I always be like, he put it in the sentence too. and then have the person read it to me so I can understand clearly and get the synonyms and everything. And I'd be like, you know what, I'm not using that no more. Because you learn, you live and you learn. It's, even at our big age as adults, we live and we learn. And it's okay. But I just wanted to point that out, because when I did sit here and type this 2 or 3 weeks ago, I was like, this is what I think I wrote on there. Usually I highlight the stuff, but I don't think I did. But most of the time I remember, I'm going to talk about this because this is very important. And it impacts with every community, but also impacts with empowerment and self-love. If you're just, judging someone and saying things that are not so nice, that can mess up someone's being able to feel empowered, as well as feeling like loving their self and things like that. So, as well as the Black community often face discrimination, which can lead to feeling of powerless and lack of dignity. Not only, like I said, not only does this affect the Black community, but it affects other communities like the Hispanics, Latinos, things like that. Having that feeling of feeling powerless and lack of dignity is like, why? It's like, it has you thinking, why this happens to me? And it's like the saying says, nobody's perfect. We all go these things, but it's like we should be able to put a stop to it. We are learning how to put a stop to this. We're learning how to get it together. We're learning how to be more, how's the word I want to say? Being more able to understand each other as well as help each other out. And it takes a time. It takes time. Like a plan, that's why you have to have them long term, short term goals as well. Because most of the time, the long term goals will not happen on a blink of an eye, as well as short term goals. But long as you're able to put something out there. So, yes, when it comes to every community, but most of the time within this situation, we're talking about the Black community. Oh! Y'all just popped my leg up and the laptop said, pew. If you watch the YouTube video, I'm sorry, y'all to see that. Y'all just went down with me. But when it comes to facing discrimination, it's a real big thing. I feel like, how could a person do that? But it happens. I don't want to get too deep with that because we're going to stay on the positive side. And it does lead a person to feel like useless, powerless, and have lack of energy and dignity as themselves as a person that impacts with trying to feel empowered, to be empowered, to empower others and themselves, and also it lacks them from having self-love and being able to discriminate self-love and things like that. And also there is a lack of access, like I said too, within the mental health services, which can be a barrier to self-love and empowerment. So not only within the Black community, in other communities, they might also go through these things if it's not one or the other. It has to be at least one. It's no such thing as the community not going through no problems. That's like a person not going through problems in their life. We all have moments in our life where we're up one day, we're in the middle, and we down. We go 0 to 100 one day, whatever the case may be. But I always tell people, we have those days to prepare us for the ones that we want so bad. We have those moments that we don't want in our life, but we need to have them so that it can help us prepare for what we want to be or what we want to do. Like for me, as a college student, I had them nights where I'm just like, F it. I'm over it. Like, I don't know. I'm tired of missing sleep. It's already bad enough I don't get enough sleep. So it's like, sometimes I be selfish. I'm like, do I really, really want to keep doing this or do I want to go to sleep? And I be thinking, it's all going to pay off. I'm going to look back. I'm like, it was sacrifice. I could look back to semesters that it was so hard for me. Like last semester, my fall semester was one of the hardest semesters so far in undergrad. Internship, working, podcasting, still having to have an education, and then also, making sure you're making sure your house is cool. I live in a house with my family. I make sure that we're good, and also being able to live your life as a human, because you're still entitled to have self-care days, go out with your friends, just being able to live your life in your 20s, your 30s, 40s, 50s, whatever. So it's a lot that goes into your personal and professional life that we go through. And at times when it comes to our communities that don't have resources, it's like, okay, what am I supposed to do? And that's where it comes to going back to, even if you don't have it in your community, which some people like to have the resources right there so they can just, get it and done. I'll say this, within the Black community, they're making ways to have these resources, especially mental health. And mental health, like I said, during the pandemic was one of the biggest things that brought eyes to everyone, because brought a lot of attention to everyone, because everyone started to get affected by it. Everyone dealt with mental health during the pandemic, because imagine being cooped up in your house so long with a whole bunch of people, or being cooped up in the house alone, or whatever the case may be. And your normal life is not the same. Then after it started lifting stuff, it's okay. This is my new norm now, like going outside with a mask on, things like that. So mental health played a big role from 5 years ago. 5 years ago, it played a big role. And that's why now every community, they're in making sure that they're introducing these skills, topics, and having specialists in the communities, because like I said, we all go through it. Not just one community, every community, especially the children too. Children went through it the worst because of going to school. I feel like high schoolers, because I was in high school during the time of the pandemic too, I went through it. But I feel like middle school, elementary kids went through it the worst, because it's like they missed like a whole, like they had to learn a whole, they had to find a whole new normal of going to school. And that was a problem too for them, because like most of them have access to internet, things like that. So like when this happened, it was like no one had control over this. Everybody just had to do what was told. Like Teachers like, oh my gosh, I gotta work from home. I never did this before, because you never would think like this. Something like with this situation, nobody really thought about it. But I'll never forget when I was in high school and I was in my, I want to say, my world history class, and my teacher was like, do y'all feel like we're gonna go on we're going to quarantine for 2 weeks? I'm like, absolutely not. Mm-mm. And then look, y'all, that 2 weeks turned into the rest of the daggone school year. And then year after that, it's a lot. But I'm glad that the communities are now incorporating mental health needs, because that is something that everybody goes through. We all go through mental health. Our mental health is important. I want to keep on being an advocate for it, because I've been through it. I know people that's going through it, and I'm in the field that impacts with health and human services, okay? So I'm learning as I go, but I'm also learning and learning. I'm learning and learning, and I'm teaching others while I'm learning. You get the drift, y'all said, like, okay, I got you. That's why I call myself the wellness and educational coach. But yes, every community goes through these challenges of not having resources, especially within this case, the Black community went through a big change within not having resources for Black people who have mental health services, because of insurance being a big thing. But now that they're having people out here that have groups that are advocating for free, like, just come, get your sessions, whatever you need, and then, whatever, keep on coming, and things like that. So yeah, not just one community goes through it, every community goes through it. I don't care what it is, who it is, they all go through it. We all go through things. We're human. There's no such thing as every day we're gonna have a good day. No, sometimes we got to be like, we're surprised on what's going to happen, because we never know what will happen. That's why we gotta embrace every day as we can. Like, when I have my bad days, I be like, oh, I just be like, oh, this ain't it. But I'm just glad that I'm here to see another day. And I'm glad to look back at it and be like, look, if I have another bad day, I know what to do and what not to do. I know how to handle it, what not to handle, and how not to handle it. So yes, the communities, I will say, are being more able to be more hands-on and being advocates for helping with self-care and empowerment, self-love and empowerment, to help others in the community, especially Black communities and things like that, for the people in their community to feel important, as well as feel like they're being heard, because that's the important thing too. When the community comes together, join forces and do what they gotta do, protest, whatever, and then finally community like, all right, cool, I'm listening, I'm gonna do it. So I'm saying communities are putting it together, so it's happening. It takes time, but as long as you that's why they say everything you do matters, no matter how big or small it is. Just put yourself on that forefront, and you never know how big of an accomplishment can you make by just doing one or two things. You know how little or big. Just be out there. Just put yourself out there and see what happens. Trust me. So next, we're going to talk about, when did the self-love and empowerment movement gain momentum within the Black community, and how have they evolved? So the self-love and empowerment movement within the Black community gained momentum in the 1970s during the civil rights movement. The movement has grown very, very much since then, within many organizations working to empower Black people and create a more equal society. So it was in the I want to say during the time of 1960s, during the early 70s. So it was during the time of, that's one thing I seen too when I did my research, and I forgot to add on there, change that, because like, okay, 1970s, okay, but it really was during the time of late 50s, 60s, and early 70s. That's where the momentum came of doing within the Black community. That's how self-love and empowerment was a big movement that also was impacted with the civil rights movement. So it was a lot of freedom rights activists and things like that really put a stepping stone onto self-love and empowerment within the community. And that how their movement have impacted their communities, it grown eventually, and it also helped, like within last week's episode. If you haven't got a chance to listen to it, you can listen to it. That's how ancestries and generations to come and stuff that also help them too within learning how to appreciate, love on themselves. And that's how empowerment happens, when they learn it from one another, hearing from storytelling and things of that nature. So, where can individuals in the Black community turn for resources, support, and inspiration for self love and empowerment? So, organizations such as African American Policy Forum and the Black Lives Matter Network provides research and support to Black individuals. And additionally, many social media platforms such as Instagram, Twitter, Facebook communities, and TikTok have communities that are for Black individuals who are also working to empower the Black community. These organizations often host events and campaigns to promote self-love and empowerment. They also provide a platform for Black individuals to share their stories and experiences. These organizations and campaigns help to create a support and a very good, inclusive, included, lovable, free, supportive community, well, mainly environment for Black individuals. They also provide a safe space for Black individuals to come together and share experiences. Finally, they also provide resources such as books, like I mentioned, books, podcasting, supplies, whatever that people need to further educate them and empower the community. So not only is there places within the community, wherever you from, you have your local rec centers or health centers and stuff like that, but also online platforms plays a big role. I feel like on Facebook, the communities are really, really big because there's a lot of communities like sisterhood, brotherhood, HBCUs, even other communities, PWIs. They even have some for people who love certain stuff. They even have creators, podcast creators, Black entrepreneurs, a lot. Even they have them on parenting, like new parents, helping them whatever resource they need, educating them on what to use, what not to do. So within the communities, with every community, not only do you have your in-person resources, but you also have online resources. And I know a lot of people, since the pandemic, is like, I'd rather do online because I'm scared. I'm still scared. And it's okay. God, trust me. Sometimes I don't like going certain places either. And some people like, you know what? I want to go back out. I don't like being cooped up. Because I'm in the middle. Sometimes I'm like, I'm going to stay online. And sometimes I'm like, I don't want to be cooped up today. So there are many, many places that have resources for not only just the Black community, like I mentioned, but for every community that you stay in and you serve for. There are resources everywhere, especially social media. Social media plays a big, big role. So Facebook and Twitter, I know their communities are very, very big. Instagram too, their community, like the rooms, like their little, how is it? Like it's like a group chat or something? I don't know. I'm not in those. I'm only on that on Facebook and Twitter. Twitter is for my school. I'm in a group with current students and alumni, and then on Facebook it's certain ones like mainly for women and impacting like fashion, education, business and things like that. With Instagram, not so much because I don't know how to work it. And when you're so used to certain platforms you're comfortable with, it's cool. TikTok, when you look at the videos, when you start looking at a certain topic, it's going to keep showing up on your timeline. And that's like, okay, I'm a part of this side of the TikTok. So yes, not only just in the Black community, other communities as well, it has these platforms analyze and display a lot of things that impact your community for the better and offer resources for all around. Even if you're not, like, if they give a resource that's somewhere that's not in your city, they have links and people come travel. It's a lot. I love internet sometimes. Having one sometimes. But yes, there's a lot of places for individuals to turn for resources, support, and inspiration when it comes to self-love and empowerment, because we all need someone in our corner. And sometimes we need strangers to help us. And sometimes the strangers turn into our best friends. And then business partners, whatever the case may be. But yes, having these social media platforms that help us, and also being able to have people in our community that also serve a purpose within helping the community find themselves and be able to love on themselves and be able to help them be empowered and to have those type of characteristics is very important, because it helps not only just them as a person, but it helps them within the physical, the mental, the wellness, the emotional, spiritual side, because that's what matters the most. The more and more you give your body and your brain positive things, the more and more you feel empowered, positive, empowered, you feel love, appreciated, things like that. So when you feed yourself good things will happen. When you do the other thing, that's when other things happen. And we're not going to talk about that, but y'all should know. If you know, you know. But in this case, being able to also have people in your court and your reasons, your family and friends that love you dearly, you deal with them dearly, also help you too. But also as well in the community, when you put yourself out there to do organizations and things like that and meet people, you be surprised, like, wow, me and this person click and they understand me, I understand them. You help me, I help you. You scratch my back, I scratch your back, and the rest is history. And lastly, why is self-love crucial for empowerment and growth in the Black community? Well, it's important that, like I said, not just in the Black community, but for every community, self-love is essential. But in this case, it's essential for everyone. I'm going to say right now before I get deep into it. Self-love and being empowered is essential for everyone. You have to have those type of characteristics about yourself, because especially if you're working in fields that involves with people, working with them within the human and health service side or whatever the case may be, you got to make sure that you're able and you know who you are. Like with social workers, counselors, therapists, substance abuse counselors that's helping people that have been using and stuff like that. You gotta train yourself and prepare yourself for the things that come. You gotta be true to yourself, and you gotta be able to walk that walk, but also be able to practice what you preach. There it is. Practice what you preach. So if you're telling someone, yes, you could do this, you could do that, make sure that you were able to do the same thing too. However, at times we do catch ourselves. It's like, well, I'm telling you something I never did, but sometimes you never know. One day in your life is going to happen to you too. I work with children at the moment. So certain stuff that I'm teaching them, I wish I would have known myself back then when I was their age. But it's a learning experience, not just for them, but it's for learning for me, because they're teaching me things and I'm teaching them too. So you just be surprised, because like certain stuff that certain situations that they deal with versus when I dealt with them or had friends and people that dealt with those, I'd be like, wow, that's crazy. So being able to empower the community as well as others around you, and being able to display self-love so people gonna know what it is and how it is. I'm real big on self-love. Like I just did a whole group session with fourth grade girls. Well, half of the session. We're gonna finish it Thursday on self-love. Even though they're younger, it's important. Mental health services and being able to express self-love to not just the older generation, but also younger generation, because they need to, I feel like it's very important for a child to love on themselves. It's very important for a child to understand that they're beautiful regardless of what they see on a regular basis. Sometimes when I was younger, I'm just say this and I'm gonna get into it. When I was younger, hairstyles was a big thing. So if y'all see me on the YouTube video, y'all can see how my hair is. I'm in my bun. Y'all see how my head is shaped. When I was younger, my face was fatter than this. I have an egghead in general. And when I was younger, I used to hate it. I used to go to school just like this in middle school. I hated it because it was like girls were wearing sew-ins, glue-ins, little pieces, ponies, things like that. Me, I was like, okay, I would be okay if I had some braids. Like braids are just like me, or if I get a silk purse and things like that. So, but it wasn't for like, how can I say it? It wasn't for like people to notice me, but it's just to feel comfortable. Because sometimes when you keep hearing stuff like that, it's okay. Back then I didn't embrace it. I was like, okay, I gotta change this. But now I'm older, it's like I'm embracing it. It is what it is. Like we can't control it. I can't control it. My head gonna be this size for a minute, and I'm gonna embrace it. I'm gonna appreciate it. But with children, like when I hear the stories about them, when it comes to like the self-love and empowerment, I'm glad that I am someone that they can go go to when it comes to helping them understand that, you're beautiful, you're handsome, you're the way that you are because blah blah blah. And it's good to be different, because if we all look the same, what can someone point out about you that's different? And my parents taught me that too. Like, nobody's perfect, and if we always look the same, what is something that we could all point out about each other that's different if we all look the same? So, yes. So self-love and empowerment is essential for everyone. Within this case, for the Black community, is to build resentment, find strength, and courage in the face of adversity, and provide a platform for positive change. Positive change is a very crucial thing, and that's what I stand for. And in every community, I believe, stands for the same thing. Having positive change and having that warm empowerment space and loving space for their community. Self-love is also the foundation of others' self-love, which is essential for building a more in-depth and just society. Self-love is the foundation for healing and recollecting, and for creating a more equality society. It is the first step to creating a more in-depth and just world for all. By embracing self-love, the Black community can incorporate themselves within the necessary tools to realize their worth and value, and take their pride in their accomplishments. This will allow them to break through symptomatic racism barriers and build a more equality and just society. Self-love not only helps the Black community, but it heals and rejoices, but also empowers them to make a more inductive society. Okay? So not only just within this case, within the Black community, if you hear all the time, on the news stuff is not so mercy sometimes, but this is why it's important to have those barriers and make those change, as well as in other communities, coming together and hearing all those stereotypes and changing that and letting people know that's not it. I'm gonna show you differently, ma'am, sir. I'm gonna show you how to do this. I'm gonna show you what it's not. I'm gonna show you what we're not. But everybody has their right to feel the way they feel, but stereotypes, I feel like that's one thing that you can change for sure. And numbers don't lie. You know what I'm saying? Men lie. Women lie, men lie, but the numbers don't lie. And once numbers go down within the certain data, like statistics and stuff, it's like, dang, I just made history. And being a part of that is very amazing, especially within like the cities and stuff, like where I'm from in Baltimore City. Murder rates and stuff like that is one of the things like the mayor tries to keep down so much. And so far, I want to say, fingers crossed, knock on wood, so far, I really haven't heard much about like violence. So we're gonna hopefully it stays that way. But sometimes, not just in my city, but in all around the world, when it get warm, people act up, but not all the time. But that was one of the things, like, it'd be like so scary and things like that. But like I said, once you're able to change the norm, put new laws, put your foot down, advocate for yourself, you gotta go to the press, you gotta pull some strings or whatever just to make your voice heard. Do it, because I'm telling you, if it doesn't happen overnight, it's going to happen regardless. And just know that by you being able to put a change into a community, that's you displaying how empowered you are about this cause, that will also empower others to take the page out of your book to do the same thing. As well as when it comes to self-love, how you love on yourself and appreciate yourself, but as well as displaying it in a way that, look, I love who I am, I'm fighting for what I believe in, and I'm standing tall and firm on this, and I'm going to make sure that everything that I've been manifesting, praying for, and what my community needs and things like that is going to get done. With or without an army. Sometimes you gotta do things by yourself. Sometimes you gotta be the one-man army. And then once people see you, it's like, okay, I deal with this, I get jiggy with this, and I'm gonna help you with this. But you gotta make sure it's real. Can't just have anybody on your army, on your team that ain't really about it. You just can't put anybody in the field. Can't put anybody in the game, coach. So, and before we end off this wellness 101 lesson 12, I'm gonna leave you with a quote. And the quote is, Self-love is the foundation for empowerment and growth as it allows individuals to embrace their identity, build resentment, and challenges symptomatic barriers that have historical the black community. By this wellness lesson, while Wellness 101 Lesson 12 impacts with self-love and empowering the black community, I felt like that was really good because it impacts with, building for the better with an empowering not just empowerment, but also being able to incorporate self-love as well as empowerment within the black community, and to let them know that yes, we all have our issues and we're going through things, but we can change that narrative by doing what is right and putting ourselves on that forefront and doing what we have to do mentally for our mental, physical, emotional, and spiritual well-being with the resources online or within our community. It's very important. So appreciate and love on the ones that are really here to help you, especially people that are in the field within health and human services as well, that specialize, have certifications, degrees, and things like that within the field. So, as always, I hope you guys have learned something new or learned a few things. If you're new here, I say this all the time. If I cannot help a whole bunch of people, as long as I help someone or I have impacted someone, empowered, or whatever the case may be, because we all need someone to pick us up when we're down. We all need someone to give us that little pick me up. And within the vibes and my energy, I try to give off not too much, but I'm gonna give you what you need, because that's how it inspired me to do what I'm doing now. Watching others that have podcasts, broadcasts, things like that, influencers, celebrities, activists, they inspire me to do what I'm doing, because sometimes we all have our days where we have good days and bad days, but you got to keep going until you see the results that you want. In order for you to get to that goal, get to that finish line, you gotta deal with the trials and tribulations that come your way. Especially, like I said too, the prime example be me getting this degree, pulling all-nighters, dealing with situations we ain't gonna go no sleep, dealing with situations that you feel like you might procrastinate, but I don't play that. If I gotta do this or that, I gotta get out of the way, I'm gonna do it. If I gotta do homework at work, I'm gonna do it. If I gotta do podcast notes while I'm at school, I'm gonna do it. If I gotta make sure that my supervisor knows what's going on while I'm at home, I'm gonna do it. Before, it's her bedtime or whatever, I'm making sure she knows what's going on. Sometimes you gotta take a leap on faith and just be like, you know what, I'm gonna do this. So sometimes you gotta do things that you just don't have in your control, but make sure you're doing it to make a difference, but also get it done. So like I mentioned, I hope you guys have learned a thing or two impacting self-love and empowerment within the black community, but overall within communities in general. I hope you guys are able to make a change, be a change, and stand up for what you believe in. I hope you all have an amazing Wednesday and the rest of the week. I hope you guys really take a sense on, reflecting on the months to come. Put it on your phone, video notes, journals, whatever. Just do that, because I'm telling you, at the end of the year, you be like, wow. You do a scale like 1 to 10 how the year was for you. I did that, and I'm doing a little video once, but I'm not sharing them. You don't have to share them, but like in the end, you just be like, okay, I reflect on it. So yes, today's Wellness Lesson 101 in honor of celebrating 1 year of doing Wellness 101 lessons. This one was a good one to do to make it 1 year, and I'm so happy that I continue to do this series as well, and is making a difference as well. As always, guys, I wish you nothing but the best. I thank you so much for all you love and support. I really, really do a lot. Like, I wish I could hug y'all all at the same time, because it's like, y'all don't know how it make me feel when I see the numbers. I be like, oh my God. Because I remember when I didn't see a lot of numbers, and now I'm seeing numbers in places and cities and I never seen before. And it's like, wow. So at times I cry, because like, wow, people really are hearing me, understanding me, and appreciating me for who I am. So thank you guys for vibing out with E. I appreciate it so much. I'm glad that you guys like the series Vibing Out with Guests, and also the series of Wellness 101 lessons. So like I say, as always, I love you guys so much. Please be safe out here. Take care of yourself. Love on yourself. Love on one another. Remember, respect each other. At times, respect is not given, it's earned, and be a change, be a part of a good change, be a cause of the good change, and just, be you and stay true to you. Okay? As always, you guys will hear from me next Wednesday. Please be safe. I keep expressing this because, like, I'm big on safety. Love on yourself. Do what you got to do. And have an amazing week. If you're not, it's going to get better. I promise you, my friend. Slow and steady, run the race. Okay? Love you all dearly. And as always, you guys will hear from me next Wednesday. Bye.